Hello, this is Sister Sarah. I would want to share a testimony with you. I had a sit down with one of my group members, a very energetic lady who welcomed me with a great humility. Not knowing only 10 minutes into her life story, I will get to understand why she has to carry a lot of grace within her. For privacy reason, I will call her Hannah. Hannah is a 68-year-old hailing from the agricultural town of Kitale. She is the firstborn child in a family of 6. In grade 3, she was forced to drop out of school after her father's demise to be able to help her mother in raising her 5 siblings. Shortly after the father's passing, the family was chased out of their home and was forced to relocate to a new town in Nakuru, where Hannah and the mother were forced to work as laborers in the fields. Hannah's wages were used for paying house rent, while the mother's was paid in foodstuff instead of wages. At 17, Hannah was forced to settle for marriage so that the husband could extend a hand of helping hand to her family. She bore 4 children out of her marriage. Later on, Hannah's mother passed on and was forced to take her 2 siblings under her wing, who at that time were still young. After a few years, her marital bliss turned out to be of a painful one as her husband started disappearing for days without notice. One day, he appeared with a wife in his company and he demanded her to leave his house. With only a few clothing, Hannah had no choice but to leave the premises with her 4 children and her sibling. She sought out shelter from a good Samaritan who was kind enough to help her. She started working in the market as a fruit seller and soon enough was able to buy a mattress where they could all sleep on. Later on, she saved up for a double-decker bed where all the children could share and she could sleep on the floor. When she had finally started making amends with her life, her husband showed up again. He physically abused her and would sometimes try force himself on her. After a few months, the husband's health started deteriorating, and a few months later, he died. It was later discovered that she was infected as well. Now, a widow for the past 17 years, Hannah has been able to live life positively and simple. She was able to educate some of her children, if not all. Some turned out amazingly well, while some fate didn't go as she hoped. One of her sons ended up in the street life, despite the mother's effort to win him over. He ended up murdered by his fellow gang members. Hannah got into tears as she mentioned on the death of her son. She is now a grandmother of 4. She is a caretaker of some rental houses, and the owner have put up a structured house for her, small enough to fit her bed and 1 seat. She cannot be able to do any hard manual labor, but simple tasks take her through the day. Still takes her medicine, tough and strong in her faith. Hannah has dedicated her life in serving Christ and plays a big role of service in church. in church today. I am honored to share her testimony with the world today, and at the same time happy to serve with her in my group. God bless you all.